Hello you guys. I'm a redhead again, you guys, but you know what? We are going to start this vlog. It is the first day in July when I am filming this. You guys are seeing this on the last day of July, so have an idea for a video. That's how all these start, with just an idea. You guys know most of the ideas I have for these videos are a way for me to get through my bookshelf. I like to shop my bookshelf, see what books I haven't read, and come up with an idea to incorporate all of them in like a secret TBR type thing. So what I decided today was, I don't read books about animals. And the thing is, the books I have read about animals, Cracker, Call of the Wild, I like them. I usually like books about animals. They usually affect my life. Like, I can call back the books that I read about animals, but into my adulthood, I don't read books that have anything to do with animals. So I asked myself, why is that? I think I would like books about animals. Maybe it's because growing up, I never had pets. I don't have this deep connection to animals. I never had pets. I have a turtle right now. But I've just never been someone who likes to read about animals. When animals are in books, it's just something that, I don't gravitate towards. But I don't know if I like it or dislike it. That's not this video. Earlier this month, I did a video about whether or not I like books about royalty. That's not this. I want to dive into something that I never dived into. It's not even a question of do I like it or not. The question is, what's going on, animal people who read books about animals? What is going on? So I came up with the TBR. It is 4 books on my bookshelf that are about animals, and we are going to see what are the animal girls doing. And what I love about this TBR, they're spread out across genre. We don't have any romance because no, but we do. They're spread out across genre. We have some horror, we have some lit fic, we have some thriller. We're spreading it out, and we're gonna see what the animal girls are doing. That's what I want to see. So this series on my channel is gonna be more of a discovery series. We're discovering what Kenya likes. I want to see what is my taste. Do I like this? Do I not? So anyways, we're gonna read the Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Irokawa. This is a translated novel, and I'm excited to read this. It's a short one, but I'm excited to read this. This is literary fiction, and yeah, I don't know what it's about, but that's the exciting part. And then we're gonna read Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I believe we're dealing with a fox in this one. This is more of a thrillery one, which I am very excited about. This is probably the one I might be most excited about in this entire vlog. So yes, we're then going to read The Things Between Us. This was in the Goodreads horror category last year, so we have some horror sneaking in here. There's a dog on the cover. I don't know if this is about a dog. I don't know, but I saw a dog on the cover, and I wanted to see. Let's see if this is about a dog. I'm excited to read this. This is by Gus Morano. We'll see how it goes. And then the last thing we're going to read is Once There Were Wolves, and this is a story about wolves who are missing now, and I don't know. So that's what I want to see. So this book is more about just stepping into something that I have not stepped in before. I don't really hear people talk much about animal books, and I want to see what's going on with the animal girl. So no, don't mistake this for my discovery vlogs. Not my discovery vlogs. Don't mistake this for my taste tester vlogs, my more so do I like this vlog, and may see this more as a discovery type TBR that you might see here and there on the channel. Me discovering different types of genres, different types of themes, different types of characters. That is more so what this one is about. More of Kenya discovers books about animals. So we are going to start this book with Once There Were Wolves, and I am very excited about it. I literally just picked the one that's like calling me the most right now, and it's this one. This one is calling me. This seems, it's the weekend right now. It seems like this would be a fun little weekend. Let's see how we do. But anyways, we're gonna stop it there. If you like, tell me some recommendations for pet stories down below. If you got some and you're like, Kenya, I love books about animals. That's the thing. I never hear anyone say they love books about animals. Like, I never hear. So I want to see, there's clearly people writing books about animals, but like, what's going on with them? Like, are we, what do we feel? So let's find out. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next clip. Okay, you guys, this is the first clip of this video. I told you we are starting with Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte Mcconney. So like, getting into this book, it's just so interesting because I'm really being hit with the fact that I don't read books about animals. I don't know the tropes. I don't know the ideas. I don't know the things that really happen in books about animals. So like, just for starters, I'm sitting here and I just don't know what to expect from this book. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, but I don't know what to expect. So in the beginning, we are starting with these two girls. They are sisters, and basically one of the sisters, our main characters, she's able to feel everything that every living thing around her feels, whether it be other human beings, whether it be other animals, whether it be like plants, whatever. She's able to feel in like feel every single emotion. It's almost like she takes over that thing and becomes that thing. So in the beginning of the book, her father is skinning a rabbit and she feels the father like gutting the rabbit and all of that. So we get that from her. And so then we have basically two dual timelines. We have the timeline for when they're in Alaska when they are little, and then we have the timeline of when they're in Scotland. So there's this idea. So the Scotland wildlands have been like decimated, like they're just terrible, like things aren't growing, things aren't living, and it is because they have killed off all the wolves in this area. And because they've killed off all the wolves, things have happened with the deer life, and because of the deer life, thing has happened with like the vegetation, the trees, and all of that. So her father, her sister, and a few other people have set out on this mission to take these wolves and bring these wolves back into this society in Scotland. But there's pushback from the people of Scotland because they think these wolves are going to kill their kids. They're going to kill their wildlife. They're going to kill their like vegetation. They're just going to run them up. But she's trying to explain that wolves don't do that. Wolves have a sense of family. Wolves don't attack people. Like, that's just a myth. Like, we attack wolves more than wolves attack us. So she has set out on this mission. While all of this is happening, like I said, we're going back in time. So there's obviously some secrets, some things that have happened that our main character has not revealed to us. Like, there's more to the story of her family. We've met her father. He was a forester. Then he became like a guy in the middle of Alaska who like loves wildlife. And then we have her mother. Her mother is a lawyer, and she helps women who have been in like battered situations. So she has these like two lives, one where she's in the city with her mom who's a lawyer, and another one where she's with her father in Alaska who's like this like nature guy. And in the present day, she's dealing with her sister. Her sister is sick. We don't know what she's sick with, but her sister is sick. So that's pretty much the plot. I won't talk about the plot anymore. That's pretty much what's going on here. How am I feeling about this book? I'm enjoying it. It has like this moody feel that I love in books like this. Like, I don't know what to, because I don't read books about animals, and I've never read books about animals, especially adult literature about, like, literally Cracker, Call of the Wild. I'm trying to think of books with animals that I read. I just haven't. I don't even think I have any books on my bookshelf with animals that I've read. I don't know like what you would call a book like this, like what genre this fits. And to like expect speculative? I don't know, but all I know is I am enjoying it. It has this moody feel that I love in books, like this just moody, you don't know everything. I love weird people in towns, like weird characters in town. We're meeting different characters in Scotland who are interesting. We have a police chief. We have a guy who seems to be beating up his wife. We just have a lot of things going on that I'm very much so enjoying. Not much has really happened. I want to uncover what's going on. And then I like the stuff about wolves. Like, I like her getting inside the body of these wolves and when she like takes over their body, and I just love, I'm loving it. I am loving it. Like, surprisingly, like I put this book off for a little bit. I don't even got braids anymore. That's how long I've been putting off starting this book, but I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. So I'm gonna keep reading. I don't really have much else to say, because that's the thing. I'm gonna say it again, because I don't read books about animals. I don't know what to say about the book, what the book is trying to do, but it's good. It's good. So if this is starting off of our books about animals good, I'm on board. I'm on board. I'll see you guys in the next clip when I finish this. Can you guys see me? I don't know. This is a terrible angle, but like I'm coming to you in the midst of doing stuff. You guys, this book is the cat's meow. No pun intended, because you know we read the animal books. This book is so damn good. This book has like so many elements, and all of them I'm enjoying. We have like a murder mystery that's going on. We have a murder cover-up that's going on. We have like things from the past that's going on. We have a romantic interest that might turn out to be a psychopath that's going on. We have like towny people who are weird. I love that. And then on top of that, we have the storyline about the wolves. We have the storyline about the wolves. Like, it just has so many elements that are working like together, and it's just like the perfect storm has brewed up, and like I'm so excited to finish it. I just wanted to come in and give that quick update. Like, the perfect storm is coming together in this book. I am loving it so much. I love it. I love it. It's a slow burn, but like every moment is worth it. Every moment is worth it. This is one of these books I would read like slowly, like just a little bit every single day, like, and you like really see the storm brewing up. It gives you time to think about what's going on. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We're shaping up for a 4 or 5 star. This is good. So my end of the month vlogs, I like to be a little bit more thoughtful, have my thoughts a little bit more together. Will I have that here? No, I won't. I am going to give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars though. Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte Mcconney. I am going to give 4.5 out of 5 stars. I just love a beautifully written story. I love a story that is intentional, purposeful, and everything is in there for a reason. Did this story have one too many characters? Yes. Some of the men in the story started to get tangled up after a while, especially the ones who were like in Scotland in the current day. I started getting them confused a little bit. But this book was so good. So this entire vlog is about animals and me reading books about animals and seeing how these authors use animals to tell their story. And I fear we are starting off with the best. I love the way this author used animals, and then our 2 main characters, how she used the wolves and our 2 characters to kind of represent each other. I've noticed that's kind of what I see the most. Like, when I think about books about animals, that's what I think about people doing. People assigning human emotion to animals and people kind of acting animalistically. That type of play, that type of back and forth, that type of like seeing yourselves through animals. But what I really loved about what this book did is it talked about how the people in Scotland viewed the wolves, and really who they should have been afraid of was the 2 girls. It's almost this almost idea of colonization a little bit. Like, whoa, let me take it like bigger. This idea of like colonization, of how like even with the best of intentions, they brought the wolves to end deforestation and to get the wildlife to come back and all of that stuff. But even with the best of intentions, these outsiders were almost like colonizers, and spoilers, this is spoilers, but they were responsible for multiple deaths that happened in this community. And even she at the end killing a wolf, like, it just showed how, like, even with the best of intentions, you can, like, colonize a place. You can be the evil. You can turn into the evil that you're trying to keep out or stop from happening. Or even when you're trying to bring, like, greatness back, you can be that evil. Like, this book got, like, it's, when you really think about it, this book gets, like, really, really deep. Yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. I think I really like books about wolves. Like, when I think of books like Call of the Wild and stuff like that, books that I did enjoy, I think I like books about wolves. This worked for me. This worked for me a lot more. I thought this book was going to be boring, but it really just was not. The whole murder mystery I was talking about before, I guessed who did it, but, like, that didn't matter. Like, because I didn't guess what the bigger picture was of the person who was doing it. I just really enjoyed this book. It was just really just well written for me. It doesn't evoke, like, stand-em in me, like, this is the best book I read this year. It doesn't evoke that in me, but it does evoke just, like, a solid good. If all my reads were like this year, we would have a good year. How I feel about this book is how I expect to feel about most of the books I go into reading, like, just a good time, executed well. I had, like, nothing really negative to say. A few things I would change here or there. That's what I expect from most of my books, but I don't get that. But this was quite good. So we are going to move on to The Things Between Us. I believe that book is about a dog. There's a dog on the cover. I don't know if it's actually about a dog. And yeah, I'll see you guys in those clips. Hello, you guys. I'm sorry that the first clip of this book has to be in such terrible lighting, but it is the middle of the night and I have started The Things Between Us by Gus Morano. This book was in the Goodreads horror category for 2021, and so there's a dog on the cover, and that's why I thought it fit this vibe, though I have no clue what this book is about, and I don't know if a dog is even a part of this book. I am exactly on page 38 and there's still no dog, so you have to stay with me there. But so far so good. I am very much so enjoying this book. So this book follows a man named Tiago. Basically, his wife has died. We meet him and he is at his wife's funeral. We see that at his wife's funeral, the wife's family has kind of taken over doing all the services. Even though his wife wasn't really religious, she didn't want a big funeral, a big religious funeral. She is having a Catholic funeral and the family is there and they're having a wake and they're doing all that stuff. But our main character, he is very detached from it all, and we start this story where he is basically talking to his wife about his wife. Like, he keeps talking to his wife like, you like this, we did this, we would have done that. So he's like talking to his wife about his wife, and through that we are learning things about his wife. So we as the reader don't necessarily feel like we're the audience for this book. He's honestly like telling a story to his wife, like remembering his wife and the things that they went through. So him and his wife are kind of from two different walks of life, but kind of the same as well. She's not so much higher class than him, but she comes from a family that believes in respectability, and they want their daughter to marry someone respectful, and he is not that. He comes from a line of rapists, murderers, and killers. Like, that's what he comes from, a line of. So when she married him, there was a lot of, like, the family didn't want that, but they ended up getting married. They met each other. He was a TaskRabbit, and that's how they met one another. And basically, they get married, they move into this condo. Well, strange things start to happen in this condo once they order an Amazon Alexa. It's not called an Amazon Alexa. It's called a Sahara. You get it, Amazon Sahara, whatever. It's called that. And basically things start showing up at their door. They start hearing random things in their condo. And by the way, the wife is dead, and she died of something like, she didn't die of natural causes, so it seems. She died of an event that would have media coverage, because at the funeral, there are people on the opposite side of the burial trying to take pictures. He's talking about his wife, like people writing news stories about his wife, people, strangers reaching out to him, wanting to hear about his wife being on the news, press coverage. So obviously something big happened to his wife, and we're going to find that out through this story he is reminiscing on about his wife. Are you staying with me? Are you staying with me? That's what this book so far is about. It's just really interesting. I love narratives that are framed this way. This idea of retelling a story, almost reminding yourself about what happened. And like, I just love it. I love it. This is like my favorite way for stories like this to be told. So I'm very much enjoying this. Like I said, this book is about animals, and the light over there just flickered. I've yet to see a dog. I've yet to see an animal. They think there's an animal maybe trying to get into their house because they're hearing like little pitter patters around the house and creaking. That might be where the dog is. I don't know. I'm lost, but it's a fun loss. It's a fun loss trying to figure out. I just know the more I keep reading, I'm going to figure out what happens. And so like, I'm excited. I'm enjoying it. It's a good time over here. I will come to you guys back if I have any more thoughts or if I finish it. Okay? Hello, you guys. Obviously, I'm not at my home right now. Not obviously, y'all don't know how my house look, but I'm not at my house right now. But I do need to give you guys an update on the things between us. I've been slowly biting on this book, like taking little pieces, reading 10 pages here, 10 pages there. So I'm really enjoying this book. There's some books that I read that just, I feel like warrant just reading them slow. Like they're not something you need to eat up in a day or two. You can just slowly chew on this. And I've been slowly chewing on this for about a week. And like, I came back first and told you guys there was no like animal involved, but we actually did finally get an animal. I probably would have just finished this and come back, but I wanted to tell you guys we did get an animal sighting. This entire vlog is about Kenya reading books about animals, and we did get an animal sighting. And this book is using animals in a different way than the first book. This book is all about grief. And you want to know what? Well, I guess when I think about it, it's not using it that differently. We are still using animals to talk about grief and losing people and losing things. So this book is basically about a guy who moves out into the middle of nowhere once his wife dies. And this book has a rather low Goodreads score for what it is. It's not a bad Goodreads score. I think it's like at a 3.6, 3.7, which isn't bad, but like for what this book is, like you would think it would just sit at like a 3.8, 3.9, but it's rather low. And I think the Goodreads rating on this is low. It's number one, this book is marketed as horror, but it feels like literary fiction. I have read a lot of literary fiction books about grief and people losing a child or a wife or something, and that's how this book reads. This book reads as you following someone through their grief process, and that's what this book is. And I think if you sign up for this book just wanting pure horror, you don't get that. You just get this guy constantly talking about his dead wife. But I'm enjoying that element of it because I love literary fiction. I love the slow burn. I love like, what is grief? What is this? What is losing someone? And in between that, you have these horror elements. There's obviously something that has like possessed his world, like something in his world is awry, and you're getting these horror filled elements. And now that the dog is in the story, something has, like, I can't spoil it and tell you guys what's next, but obviously the dog is going to now play another part into like this horror element. So like, it's almost a literary fiction book with horror elements, which is something that happens a lot in literary fiction. Like, I don't know if just people don't read a lot of literary fiction, but in a lot of literary fiction, you get these horror type elements. So maybe the low Goodreads rating is because a lot of people were going in expecting like a high horror, And they did it because this was nominated in Best Horror and it came in almost last. Like, it didn't get, like, it doesn't have a high Goodreads score. But, like, I think that's why people are, like, kind of like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't read any of the reviews. I just looked at the Goodreads rank. But I can see why I think people wouldn't like, because you are just constantly talking about his dead wife, constantly talking about his dead wife. And then something horrific will happen. And then it's back to the dead wife. It's back to the dead wife. And so, like, I can see how people feel, like, bogged down with that. But I'm enjoying it. I really am. But I wanted to come in and say, we have the dog element. I'm liking the way the dog element is being used. I did think that we were going to go into a different direction. And we didn't, but I believe still, I think I know the direction the dog part is going to go in. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys that update. And then once I finish this, we are going to move on to Near the Bone after this, because I am ready to read Near the Bone. So I am going to try to get through this today or tonight or tomorrow morning, because like I've read it, I've chewed on it long enough. I'm on page 134 and it's only like a 270 page book, 250 page book. So like, I don't have much more to go. And like, I could honestly read it all right now, but I've just been taking my time. Like, I've spread out my reading so much this month that I don't really need to rush, because I kind of canceled a video that I was going to do this month in order to kind of like chew on the book club pick and all of that stuff to like really get my thoughts for that. So like, I have more time than I thought I would to get through my end of the month book. So like, I'm enjoying it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next clip. Peace. Good morning, you all. I need to tell you guys about this thing between us. It is the morning time. I am making my morning coffee, but I finished this book yesterday and I never came and discussed it with you guys. So, okay, this thing between us. What can I say? This book, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. This is probably the most interesting book I've read this year. Like, I was in it the entire time, but like, do I know what happened at the end? Do I understand what happened at the end? I kind of do and I kind of don't. I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say what I think the ending meant, but I think this thing between them, I feel like this thing that was between them was like social standing, social capital, this like all of this history and heritage that they have with their families, all of that's the thing between them, right? The thing keeping them apart from one another, the thing that made it so that they couldn't fully be a unit, the thing. That's what I think. That's my take on it. And then when you take all the different things that he had gone through throughout the book, those things represent the things I'm talking about. I'm talking in circles, but I think I understand some of what this book is trying to do. The ending of this book is wild, because the first 200 pages, you're just following this guy dealing with grief. Everything around him starts to die. And then all of a sudden, this turns into literally Lovecraft Country. Like, it literally turns into Lovecraft Country. It turns into this just demonic horror story. And like, I loved it. Like, I loved it. Like, I loved every second of it. It got so crazy. Usually, I'm one of those people, I like to imagine things that's going on in books. I couldn't even imagine what was going on. I couldn't even imagine. Like, things got so demonic. Things got so weird. I could not even imagine what was going on. But that's what I love. Like, when I want a horror book, I don't want to read a horror book and be like, well, I know everything that happened here. Like, no, that's no fun, right? We want to shake things up a little bit. So the whole point of this video was like talking about books with dogs. How do I feel the animal was used in this book? Brilliantly. And I will not say that the animal in this book was used the same way. And Once There Were Wolves, there's a humanity to Once There Were Wolves that wasn't given to the dog in here. This dog was used as a catalyst for something else, which I adore. Like, you really just don't usually see dogs used in this way. Well, specifically dogs used in the way that this dog was being used. So like, we're 2 for 2 for books that have to do with animals, and like I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We are moving on to Near the Bone. Near the Bone, I think, is gonna be probably my favorite story of the three. You know what? Near the Bone has the most room for success and the most room for failure. Near the Bone seems like a straightforward thriller suspense novel. So either it works or it doesn't. Either I'm going to really like it because that's my genre, or I'm going to hate it because it doesn't do what I want it to do. But we are going to start Near the Bone. I will see you guys in the first update for that. Brutal. The abuse is it makes my soul do something just reading it. But like, y'all know that doesn't deter me away from a book. But she is getting abused by her husband. So one day she is out in the woods and she is checking on the rabbit traps, and she comes across a dead fox or a dead wolf, one of the two. She comes across that and she's like, that is kind of weird. Then she believes that she sees something that is a bear, and that makes her go home to her husband and tell him about this bear that she saw in the woods. Now our main character, Maddie, she thinks there's something really weird about the bear. The bear has almost taken on human characteristics. It just seems very weird. So she really wants to tell the husband about the fox, but then she starts telling the husband about the bear, and the husband immediately becomes intrigued with the bear and goes, we need to go hunt this bear down. So the husband and the wife, they embark on this journey to go find this bear and figure out what this bear is doing. Is this bear killing other animals? Is this bear stopping them from getting animals to eat? But when they're out in the woods, they come across a man. They come across a man who is in the woods, and he like basically like looks at them very questioning. He's like, that's kind of weird. He mistakes the girl Maddie for his daughter and not the husband's wife. So basically she's like, oh, your daughter, you probably shouldn't have your daughter out here. And the husband's like, that's not my daughter, that's my wife. And the man's like, okay. And he looks at Maddie and he's like, do you have anything you want to like tell me? Like giving her that look like, are you okay? And Maddie doesn't say anything. They go back home. Maddie gets left in the woods by the husband. And it's basically, he's like, find your way back home after he beats her. So like, that's where I am at the story. I don't think any of that is spoiler because nothing has happened. So now our girl is out in the woods, and there is that. I am intrigued. Like, that's why I'm saying I'm loving the hell out of this, because I am flipping the pages of this just so goddamn intrigued. Like, so damn intrigued. I literally stopped just so I can come and tell you guys really quick. Like, I am just so damn intrigued about what's going on. But this is all about this vlog is all about animals and how are animals being used. Animals are being used, once again, not in the same way. What I will say, what's been consistent about all three books, and I think will be consistent in the last book we read, when it comes to animals in book, you're gonna get dreary. I don't know if it's the 4 I chose, but I'm choosing 4 all from relatively different genres. And you're going to get this eerie, sad, this dread, this grief, this doom feeling where animals are found. Like, that is what I've noticed. And almost it's as if the animals come in to bring this kind of like innocence back to life. Like, the people in these stories have been dealing with such huge, heavy things, and these animals almost bring back an innocence to them, almost there to help them out. Like I said before in other parts of this video, almost there to show them what society is doing. It's almost there like as like a fairy godmother trying to show them the way. And that's what this book is kind of getting at so far, like trying to show you the way. Man, I don't know how this book is gonna end, but that's what I'm getting from it right now. The animals is trying to show the way. So even though I feel like the animals are being used differently in each story, the first one, Once We Were Wolves, was right on the nose. It's about bringing wolves back, the wolves representing like life, all of that stuff. Then you have in this thing between us, the wolf is kind of indicative of this man's grief, this man's life, these man's problems, this man's issues. So it's different, and it's more of a horror. Like, it's less on the nose, a little bit more speculative what the animal is. And then in here we get more of a mysterious vibes from the animals. The animals are almost leaving a message for our protagonist, and that's different. So even though they all have the same, I think, think almost giving human-like qualities to animals. I think the way in which the animals are used to portray a certain thing, a certain message, is different from the two. But what is the same is there's always gloom and doom. Where there is animals, there is gloom and doom. But I'm loving it. Like, I just feel like all of these books, when it comes to animals, give off the same type of vibe because we don't know much about animals. We know a lot, but there's so much mystery with animals. It sets up the perfect ambiance for a mystery, for almost like just for a good tale with ups and downs and, you know, victories and losses. It just sets up that perfect thing. So I am enjoying Near the Bone. This is turning out to be a solid vlog, like a solid vlog. I am so excited. This is probably going to be my most positive vlog that there is because I think I'm going to like the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I'm saving it for last. And I think this is a positive vlog. So I'm going to continue reading. If I have more thoughts, I will give you those thoughts. If I don't, peace. Okay, so I am halfway done with Near the Bone. This book almost did not beat the domestic thriller allegations. It almost did not beat the domestic thriller allegations. This book, the first half of this book takes place with this woman solely in a cabin, like solely in a cabin with her husband and her trying to like plot her escape, which is just a domestic thriller. Like, it is just a domestic thriller. Like, just because it takes place out in the woods, just because there's a cabin, just because there's animals, just because there's people lurking around, that don't make it any less than a domestic thriller. A bunch of people just sitting in the house. And then the things that like I thought was going on, like how she got in this situation, it was just giving domestic thriller down. But at where I am in the book, we've gotten better. We've gotten better. Now we've gotten more into people trying to survive out in the wilderness, and that's what I signed up for. Now, I don't know how this book slipped its way into the horror category of Goodreads last year. It's not giving horror, but maybe I have to see more what's going on with the animals, since this is an animal vlog. Maybe I have to see what's going on more so with the animal and how that's all going to play out. But overall, this is very enjoyable. At its very least, this is enjoyable, but it is gruesome. Maybe that's why it's in the horror category. It is gruesome. Like, when she is getting abused, I feel it. Like, I genuinely feel for her. So yeah, that's that on that. I'll come back to you guys with like final thoughts, and then we'll move on to the Traveling Cat Chronicles. Okay. Hello, you guys. I have some unfortunate news to report to you guys. I am giving Near the Bone by Christina Henry 2 out of 5 stars. This book could have really worked for me. It could have really worked for me. It could have really been good, but I think this book completely fell apart. This book is so many things, and I think it does none of them well. So at the root of it, you have this girl who has been kidnapped. So you have a kidnapping story. I don't think that is fleshed out well enough. You have a kidnapper. I don't think he's fleshed out well enough. I know, like, when it comes to villains and like predators, you don't want to humanize them, but you want there to be something to which you feel like this person could be real, because that's the scariness of it. That's the thing that keeps you up at night. That's the thing that keeps you reading, that at a very surface level, you can like relate to this person. You could see this person existing in your everyday life. That's what you want from a villain. You want like, whoa, this person could be real. They're just sick and twisted. That's what you want. I never felt that way about William. William is our like husband in this, the one who is the kidnapper. You never feel that way about William to me. William always just feels like this like monstrous guy that's just like there. It doesn't reign true. And then when it comes to the kids that are in the middle of the like woods, you never really have time to sympathize for them. You never really have time to really get to know them, to really like invest in them. So like, you don't care about that. And then of course this vlog is all about animals. It's all about creatures. Maybe I just don't understand what's going on, but like, the animal is like useless in this. I thought there was going to be like a big reveal on the animal, or there was just going to be something. Like, it didn't even have to be a big reveal. It could be ambiguous what the creature is. At least make it interesting. The creature just was not interesting. And this was in the Goodreads horror category last year, and it wasn't giving horror. It wasn't giving horror. I just feel like there were so many elements, none of them good. I know the beats that the book wanted me to be scared and spooked and things hanging from trees, but I never felt it. I never felt it. You just were going to have to take that. I never felt it. And I just feel like of all the ways that we've seen animals being used in these books that I've read, this was the worst way to use them. Like, I don't know. I just feel like when you deal with animals in books, the book usually get deep, it gets creepy, it gets weird. And like, we had this ominous vibe that just quickly goes away. Like, it should be so interesting trying to see 4 people survive in the woods with 2 things chasing them. And it wasn't. It just wasn't to me. I don't know. This was a big, major letdown. I don't regret reading it because I did want to know what happened in the end. But then the more I read, the more disappointed I was getting. So 2.5 out of 5 stars. This, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. So we're going to move on. And we're going to move on. Let me get the book, The Traveling Cat Chronicles. I am excited to read this book. It's a quick little one. That's why I saved it for last. I believe this is literary fiction. So like, I'm excited. The girls say it makes them cry. We're going to get into it. I'll come back with an update. Okay, bye. Hello, you guys. So the last book of this video has begun. Ooh, it is bright out. I'm just gonna sit here and read. I'm just going to sit here and read for the next hour. Y'all can't see. I'm just gonna sit here and read the Traveling Cat Chronicles for the next hour. It should really only take an hour to read the rest of this. I'm a good chunk of the way through. I'd say about 30% of the way through. So this book is following a cat and its cat owner. This book, when it comes to reading books about animals, this is the most a book can be about animals, because this book is literally told in the POV of a cat named Nana, one of the two. And basically we are following this cat trying to find it a new owner. So for some reason that we do not know, the owner of this cat has to give it up. And we are going from friend to friend trying to figure out who is going to keep this cat. Obviously there's a deeper, more philosophical reason as to why that is, but I haven't learned that yet. But yeah, and this is told in the POV of a cat. We get to know the cat's thoughts. We get to know the cat's feelings, what it thinks about other people. And it's so good. It is just so good and so easy to read. This cat is funny. This cat is feisty. It knows all types of random things about cats, like, because it is a cat. It's just so good. I don't know. This book is just a good, nice read. Like I said, people love to give cats human emotions. Not cats, animals human emotions in these books. And that's what this book is doing. I'm happy I saved this book for last, because I feel like this book is doing what like all of those books have done in some way. Basically trying to like explain the meaning of life, using animals to explain the meaning of life, to explain people's traumas, to explain people's stories, to explain why humans do the things that they do, how humans affect other people. That is how I feel like what this book is doing. It's taking all of those things and making it into one. It's letting the cat be in charge of the narrative in a way. So I'm enjoying it. I'm going to finish it, and then I'll tell you guys my final thoughts. Then I'll tell you guys my thoughts about all of these books. But yes, so far the Traveling Cat Chronicles is good. All of these books have started off good, even though Near the Bone was kind of a flop in the end. I don't regret reading Near the Bone. It just wasn't for me in the end, but so far so good. This vlog is a positive vlog, which we rarely get, and I didn't know if it would be, because I don't really read books about animals, and these are from all different types of genres, but this has been positive. I've enjoyed this. I need to do more videos like this, like taking a random theme, like a specific theme, like animals or food or whatever, and focusing solely on that. But the thing is, I have to do books I already own. I already owned all these books, so I would have to look at my bookshelf and see like what's the common thread between a lot of books, because it allows for me to read books I probably would have put off for a while and read from different genres within the span of a month. We got a horror book, we got a literary fiction book, we got 2 horror books, but 1 different types of horror. Near the Bone and this thing between us is different types of horror that I don't even know What Once We Were Wolves was. It's just a different vibe, but they're jumping from vibe to vibe, but them all having this link of just like animals. I'm enjoying it. This has been a fun video. Question, you guys, question for the culture. Should I paint my door? I think I should paint my door pink. I've been stalling on it because I'm like, do I want to? Is pink the color I want to go with? But I think I should paint my door pink. I think I should paint my door pink. I'm doing a whole, like, I'm putting wallpaper on this wall. Then I think I'm going to paint my door pink. And yeah, that's really all the projects I'm going to do. That's the last 2 projects I need to do for my room. Over above my desk, I want to do something above there, but I'm going to let it grow on me of what I want to do there. Anyway, why am I talking about my desk? That's not what the last month of the last vlog of the month is usually about. I don't really talk about much except the book. So anyways, I will see you guys when I finish the book and to wrap up the video, okay? Hello, you guys. It is the end of the day, and I have finished the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I'm going to go ahead and give this book 4 out of 5 stars. This book was absolutely great. This to me is the most, I've read books like this. When you think of like the books that I've read about animals, there's been books like this where we like get the perspective of the animal telling you about their owner and stuff like that. Like, I think Call of the Wild does that as well. Like, we get stuff like that all the time. But this, like, the deeper meaning to this, and like him going and visiting all his friends, and then when you get to the end, everything, like all the pieces connecting in his life, and the friends helping out each other, and how the friends help out each other, them going on an adventure, him taking his cat on an adventure to like learn about his life. I don't know, it was just so interesting and so well done, and the cat was so funny. This was just, I just find this to be so unique, and just so, I'm not even a cat person, I'm not an animal person, period, and like this just, it had an effect on me. It had an effect on me in a way I didn't think it was going to have an effect on me. Like, and then it made me think about my own life and going through my own life and the people. Like, if I had to visit like 4 people, who are the 4 people I would visit? And it's like, I'm only like, I'm a young, so like, of course there'll be more people I'll have to go visit, but I don't know. And then it made me think of like pets, because I'm not a pet person. I have a turtle, but I'm not like a, you know, I don't have cats and dogs. Like, it made me think about that and people's relationships with their cats and dogs. I don't know, it just had me thinking a lot. So I'm going to give this book 4 out of 5 stars. Why did it lose a star? Less than it when it, okay, so when I give a book 4 out of 5 stars, it's less that it lost a star and more that it didn't gain a star. Like, if that's what I'm like, I'm thinking about the 5-star books I read. Like, this was a day well spent. I read this literally in a day, but like, it's not like 5, like it's not like I'm gonna be canning this to everyone. This is, I am gonna recommend this book to people, but there's specific people I'm gonna recommend this book to. Like, I'm gonna recommend this book like to like my grandmother, stuff like there's, I don't know. It doesn't evoke stand-up in me. A 5-star has to evoke some stand-up in me, or it just has to just blow me out of the water. This book did blow me away, but I think maybe if I didn't know what this book was about fully going into it, maybe it would have, but I did know what that. And you also have to keep in mind this book is translated, so of course maybe I'm not getting the full effect of what this book is doing because it's translated, and in its original language it's really packing the punch, but it still did what it was supposed to do. So that's that. So I'm going to end this video. I'm going to come back for a wrap-up clip. We're going to talk about all 4 books, and then I will see you guys in another vlog, okay? Peace. This is it. This is it. This is the end of the video. We have had a good month. If you do not know, my vlog that goes up at the end of the month is a vlog that has taken place over the entire month. So the first clip you guys saw in the video was taken on July 1st. Like, that's the whole point of the end of the month vlog, is to just have a set of books that I read throughout the entire month. And we did it. So the focus of this video was me reading books about animals. Will I be doing a book like this again? I mean, a video like this again? 100%. I am so interested now in looking at my shelves, looking at my books, and finding like common links between them that all focus on using a certain narrative idea, a certain narrative motif, a certain narrative theme, something like that, and seeing how they all come together and how they all choose to use them. So in this video, we focused on animals, and we got all different types of animals throughout the book. The first book we read was Once There Were Wolves by Charlotte Mcconney. And I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. So this book was dealing with wolves. This book was dealing with this group of people trying to end deforestation, trying to bring the wolf community back to this town in Scotland, and also dealing with their own trauma, their own backstory. Then you have the locals in this town and everything. How would I rate this in dealing with the animals? I think of all the books, this was probably done the most. I would say this is the most intriguing. Yep, this is the most intriguing book out of all of the books. I was intrigued the whole time. All the stuff about the wolves was so interesting. The wolves played such a huge, like, the wolves were like in the story, and they're the reason why the story is going on, but yet somehow the wolves never like become active parts of the story. They always stay like almost to the side, and our main character is still our main character in this book. The wolves are just like a part of the story, but they're not all of the story. But that's not to take away with what the book is trying to do with the wolves, because it uses the wolves in order to get its point across and to talk about the human condition and what human beings are doing to one another and human life and all of that. I thought it was done brilliantly. This was such a great way to start off the month. I love this book. 4 out of 5 stars. So good. Then we read This Thing Between Us. This is a horror book. This book I gave 4 out of 5 stars as well. The animal in this book was a dog, and this dog goes through the mud. This dog goes through the mud, and I enjoyed the hell out of this. This book is weird. I'm not sure if I fully got it, but when it comes to all the books I read, this uses the dog most interestingly, I think it's most interesting the way the dog was used. So this is the most intriguing. This is the most interesting. To use a dog in the way that the dog is used here, I've just never seen it before. I've just never seen it before. It's the moment in the book where you expect hope, then all of a sudden that hope gets crumbled, and then this dog comes back. It was just brilliant. I thought this book was brilliant. I think about this book every page. I used to talk about this book and be like, y'all won't believe what I'm reading. I love the hell out of this book. 4 out of 5 stars. This hit all the beats for me. Just an excellent read. Then we read Near the Bone. I would say the animal in this book was used the most basically. And here, it's the most basic. This is the most basic use of the animal. There's a girl who lives in a cabin with a guy who has kidnapped her, and there is an animal out there who is trying to kill them. And basically, that is your story. Of course, there's more. Go to that part of the video to hear what the more is. The animal was used the most basic in this, and I gave this book 2.5 stars because after reading these 2 books, I was just not expecting basic, and basic is what I got. And the thing is, I'm okay with basic. I'm okay with basic if you do basic well, but I just found this to be a letdown. The book does do kind of exactly what Once There Were Wolves does, where it uses these animals to show how human beings interact with one another. I think the ending of this book is supposed to be a play on how our main character wasn't protected by her family and the people around. I see what they was doing. Let's be clear. I see what they was doing. I just didn't fully respect it. I don't know what else to tell you. 2.5 out of 5 stars. The word is basic. I would say this book is very basic. Lastly, the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I would say the cat in this book was used the most creatively in this book. This book just reeks of creativity. To tell a story that has been told before about a man and his pet, we see that all the time, but to have the book be in the point of view of the cat and then talk about this guy's life and then the way in which he moves through this book and how we meet the people in his life and the effect these people have had on his life. It was just creative. It was just creative. It is just a good story. Like, the thing is, you would think, hey, Kenya, this book could be seen as basic. No, this is basic. Even though this has more elements, this somehow is more basic than this. This is so far from basic. This book has so many ideas. It has so many lessons. It has so many things that make you think. It has so many things that make you emotional. I just loved it. This book was so creative. I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. This is the most successful vlog we have ever had. Near the Bone was the worst book we read, and like, I would recommend this book to some people. I really would. Like, I think a different person would find this more interesting. Like, I blame a few reasons why I didn't like it, but I do think this book is for someone. It's not a bad book. It's not a bad book. It just didn't work for me, but that's the worst book we read. But then when you really think about it, these are 4 of the best books I read this year. These are 4 of the best books I read this year. So like, what can I say? This was just an overall successful vlog. I would recommend, if you found any of these slightly intriguing from me telling you what they were about in the clips, I would pick them up. And I say that about all of them, even Near the Bone. If it sounded interesting to you, I genuinely think you would like it. So, successful vlog. I will see you guys in next month's vlog. So I'll see you guys on what, August 30? How many days is in August? I'll see you on the last day of August, and we'll read some more books. Peace.